friends, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. For those of you who are new here, my name is Kaylee and this is Foodie Friday. So as you guys know, I am getting towards the end of my pregnancy. I am going to be 38 weeks on Sunday this week, so I am really excited. We're in the home stretch and my boy could be here any day now. So you guys have been following me not only on YouTube but also more closely on Instagram for more frequent pregnancy updates. So if that's something that you haven't done so, be sure to follow me at Measure Me Whole so you can see the entirety of my journey. I have a highlight reel and everything with from the day that we announced our pregnancy all the way until the end. I'm even going to be sharing my L&D experience via Instagram stories, so you guys can kind of walk with me through that. So be sure to follow me on Instagram if you're interested in keeping up with me more frequently throughout the rest of this pregnancy. But like I said, I'm nearing the end of my pregnancy journey. I actually had an appointment this week and my boy could be here sooner rather than later. So we're very, very excited. But I am starting to get things prepared in order to breastfeed. That's something that I've always wanted to do and I'm really excited to get to experience that. So in order to be prepared, I'm getting snacks and things ready because the transition into parenthood is one of the most joyful and stressful times in your life. I've talked to a lot of my mommy friends, doctors, family, that kind of stuff, and they said, make sure you're aware that this is going to be a huge transition. So I'm really, really excited to jump full force into motherhood, but I'm also trying to be prepared so I can be on top of it once my son is here. So with that being said, I am preparing different snacks and things that I can eat in order to aid in pumping up my milk supply. So this is something that a lot of women struggle with. I've been praying that I don't struggle with this, but you never know what could happen. So I'm trying to get ahead of the game. So I've chatted with, like I said, mommy friends, lactation consultants, and my doctors about what kind of things I need to do in order to be prepared to breastfeed and have a healthy, solid milk supply. So I decided to create several different recipes for you guys, and today I'm going to be sharing the best lactation cookies. So a lactation cookie is, it sounds kind of funky. I know my husband, when I said these are lactation cookies, he kind of got this like weird look on his face. So it's not something that you will just eat if you're not expecting, or if your husband accidentally eats one, he's not going to just start producing breast milk. It doesn't work that way, but it's just a cookie made with ingredients that aid in pumping up your milk supply. There's a bunch of foods out there that different lactation consultants and doctors will say that help possibly pump up your milk supply. Everybody's body is different, so what works for some may not work for others. I'm keeping my fingers crossed, like I said, that this helps with that. But another thing that I learned through talking with different people is that it is so important to eat while you're breastfeeding. And that sounds kind of crazy. You're like, what do you mean I always eat? But you're gonna be a new parent. You're starting a totally new phase of life, whether this is your first baby or your second, third, fourth, whatever. It's gonna be a transition because you have a new life that you're taking care of. So you're gonna be tired, you're gonna be exhausted, you're gonna feel just one giant boob because all you do is breastfeed and change diapers all day. So it's super important to make sure that you're getting the proper nutrition that you need in order for your body to thrive, your hormones to work, and all of that stuff. So that's what these are here for. So it's going to be a delicious snack that you can eat as soon as you're done breastfeeding or throughout the day to not only fill you up and make sure you're getting those calories, but also to aid in boosting that milk supply. When I go through the ingredients whenever we're baking, I'll talk about each one and why it helps with your milk supply. So be sure to stay tuned for that. Another tip that I received, so not only to eat after each feeding, that is so key. So be sure to eat after you feed your baby, but also getting some sort of electrolyte drink and drinking some water. So I'm not a huge fan of super sugary, traditional sports drinks because they are packed with sugar, but I do have my favorite electrolyte drink linked below. So if you want to check that out, you're more than welcome to do so. So it's so important to make sure you're getting enough water in your body as well as electrolytes because you're constantly depleting yourself. Every time you breastfeed, you're giving a lot of your nutrients to your baby, which is helping them grow and be healthy. So you want to love yourself a little bit during this time and make sure you're getting enough nutrients and electrolytes and water. So after every feeding, be sure to eat a little snack and drink some water because this will help keep your milk supply flowing. So with all that being said, these are just a few tips that I've picked up along the way. Like I've said before, this is my first baby, so I am still learning. I'm just sharing information information that I have received from MDs, my mama friends, and lactation consultants. So I know it gave me peace of mind, and it's great to have some knowledge under my belt. So that's why I'm sharing it with you guys. I will be updating you throughout my postpartum journey. I'm starting a vlog series as soon as I can after having this baby. So during the vlog series, I'm going to be sharing my wellness journey, how I'm going to get back into shape, as well as my postpartum journey and any kind of lactation things that I pick up along the way. So stay tuned for that. So now that all of my rambling's over, I've shared the little bit of knowledge on breastfeeding that I have. Hopefully I'll gain more experience and be able to relay that further for you guys in the future. But let's go ahead and get to baking. All right, friends, I'm gonna quickly walk you through these ingredients and how they help with your milk supply. As always, you can get the full recipe details in the description box below. The first thing that we have is 1 2/3 cup of oat flour. We're also gonna be using 3/4 cup of dry oats, but oats are a great source of fiber. Oats have also been found to lower cholesterol as well as aid in cardiovascular health, and they also are a great source of beta-glucans, which have been found to improve your milk supply. The next ingredient that we have is 1/2 teaspoon of baking soda and 1/2 teaspoon of sea salt. The next thing we have is 1 cup of coconut sugar. Coconut sugar is just going to add some sweetness to our recipe, and it is a great source of a low glycemic sweetener, so that's why I'm using that. The next ingredient that we have is 1/4 cup of brewer's yeast. Brewer's yeast has been found to be high in vitamins B, iron, protein, chromium, and selenium, which are all things that help with balancing hormones as well as aiding in your milk supply. The next ingredient we have is 1/4 cup of flax meal. Be sure to use flax meal and not flax seed. We're gonna mix this with water and create a flax egg, which is gonna help as our binder. But flaxseed is high in omega-3s, which also aids in your milk supply. We then have our chocolate chips, and we're gonna be using 2/3 cup of dark chocolate chips. Then we have 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract for flavoring, and then we also have 1/3 cup of melted coconut oil. I like to use the refined kind just because it takes away any of that coconutty flavor, but it's up to you. The first thing we are going to do is combine our 1/4 cup of flax meal with 1/2 cup of water, and we're going to whisk these together until well combined and then set aside for 5 minutes. It's key that you let this sit for 5 minutes so it can kind of thicken up. This is going to be our binder for our cookie. Next, we're going to combine all of our dry ingredients in a large mixing bowl. So we're going to take our oat flour, our dried oats, coconut sugar, baking soda, 1/4 teaspoon of sea salt, brewer's yeast, and we're going to whisk these together. I usually like to mix my ingredients with just a spatula, but if you would like to use a whisk, you can do that. One thing I want to point out is make sure you use debittered brewer's yeast. If you use one that is not debittered, it's going to give a very terrible bitter taste that will make your cookies not taste very good. So I linked my favorite brewer's yeast below. Once you have all your dry ingredients in the bowl, just go ahead and give these a quick mix so they are well combined, and then we'll add all of our wet ingredients. So we're going to take that flax seed water combo and add that in our melted coconut oil and vanilla, and then we will just give these a stir until a thick and sticky dough forms. This should come together, just be patient with it. It does take a second, so just kind of fold the ingredients together until you get a cookie dough-like consistency. Next, take your chocolate chips and go ahead and pour them in your bowl and just fold these in like you would a normal chocolate chip cookie. Once your dough is formed, go ahead and line a baking sheet with parchment paper, and we're going to scoop out our cookie dough. I would use a medium cookie scoop for about medium to large size cookies. This will yield 12 to 14 medium to large cookies. If you want smaller portions, you can use a small cookie scoop, but here I'm using my medium cookie scoop, and I'm just going to scoop these out, place them on my baking sheet about 1 to 2 inches apart. They will flatten out when you bake, so there's no need to press them down. But we are going to bake these at 350 degrees for 10 to 12 minutes. right, friends, the cookies have come out of the oven. I allowed them to cool completely before I decided to store them. I'm not going to be eating any right now. I've actually enjoyed a batch that I made during the creation process, and they were really good. So like I said in the video, these taste just like a super delicious chocolate chip cookie or chocolate chip oatmeal cookie. It's great to have on hand, you know, for after you nurse, because you are going to be nursing every 2.5 to 3 hours when that baby gets here. So they're great to just have on hand to not only fill you up, it's a snack that you can look forward to because it tastes absolutely delicious, but it's also going to aid with your milk supply because of the ingredients that are in these cookies. Like I was saying before, I'm storing them in my freezer until I'm ready to enjoy them, just because we still have 2 weeks to my due date. So I want to make sure these stay fresh. So you can store these in your freezer up to a month. I lined the container with parchment paper and put parchment paper in between each layer so that way nothing sticks. They shouldn't stick, but just in case, and I'm storing them in my freezer. Be sure to stay tuned for another lactation video. I'm going to be sharing my 3 favorite muffin recipes for lactation muffins. So I've got 3 different recipes that are going to go all in one video, so be sure to check that out in a few weeks. If you haven't done so, be sure to subscribe to my channel so you never miss a recipe or an update. Also, if you enjoyed this video, be sure to give it a like, and I am so glad that you guys have joined me this week. If you're a new Measure Me Whole follower, please be sure to comment below so I can say hi. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I look forward to getting together next week for another nutritious and delicious dish. All right, you guys, see you later.